Auntie Fee's fresh seasoning. This is how it's done. So this is how I prep all my vegetables really when I'm getting ready to cook with them. I just get them from the farmer's market or at the store, wherever they come, preferably the farmer's market. And I soak them in water. I mean, I trim all of the, let's say for example, green onion here. I got my pile of green onions. I'll trim the root end, cut off any of the green stem, and soak them immediately in water, come back out and trim them and just get them all looking beautiful. That extra soaking just helps to rehydrate them again. And I've got my celery here. I take out all of the, first I cut them, you know, I get them cleaned immediately before I even start messing with them, and I pull off all the like big fibers that are there. My parsley, I let this, all of this soaks for in their own separate bowls, or you know, I change the bowls over because I don't want to cross contaminate, and I get them all fresh. So this is the product I start with. I'm letting this air dry because I am running out of my Auntie Fee fresh seasoning. Look, that's all I have left. I just took this out of the freezer not too long ago. And I'm going to be doing Auntie Fee's chicken salad. Now, the only thing I haven't been able to get is her McCormick mayonnaise, and I can't do the recipe without it. So I'm just gonna process the fresh seasoning now, and I'm on a mission. I've been to several stores, so if I can find a source, the only one I've been able to find is the one with lime. Now I've gotta go back and look at her recipe. I mean, look at her video on her chicken salad. If anybody knows where to find McCormick mayo in Southern California, that would be great, in the Los Angeles area. So I'm just letting this all get dry. Once in a while, I will come in and I will fluff it out just to get it nice and good and air dried. I don't want any moisture issues when I put it in the food processor. I did a video about this previously, but I thought I would just do an independent video on the fresh seasoning because it's so good. And it makes everything look pretty, and it makes everything taste good, according to Auntie Fee, and she's right. So that's it. I'm just gonna make Auntie Fee's fresh seasoning. I'm gonna try to find that McCormick mayo because she says it doesn't, it's not watery. She has some other choice words about why she doesn't use anybody else's mayonnaise, because she said all the other mayonnaises, including Duke's, all of us, our best foods, everything, she says that's more like a dressing, like a salad dressing, I think she said. So that's funny. All right, I just wanted to show you my boring little dry prep video here. And my kid's gonna start piano soon, so I'm gonna take a quick break. And I'm also making some beef tacos. I don't know if I'm gonna do a video on that, but let's get on to thinking about Auntie Fee and this chicken salad. It looked good. I've already poached my chicken, so I gotta get on with it. All right, I've cut up the celery for Auntie Fee's fresh seasoning. I used most of one large stalk of celery. I've reserved a little bit for another recipe. I don't know if you can improve on Auntie Fee's fresh seasoning method, but I'm starting to just do it separately. So this is just gonna be all of the celery, all of the green onions, and all of the parsley, and then I'll mix it by hand with a rubber spatula. Look at the difference it makes when you dry it. It's not all wet and stuck together. It's very light and fluffy. The green onions can be a little trickier to process, so do them in 2 or 3 batches because they can get fibrous and they have that like membrane in between the layers that can make it slippery, and they don't process well. Thoroughly combine. I think celery and green onion are the primary, hold on, I'll shading myself, are the primary ingredients in the wet season, and parsley can be added optionally or in dry form once you're making your meal. At least that's what I've got in it, but I never really buy dry parsley, so. Well, I have in the past, but I don't know what I've used it for, to be honest with you. Okay, that's it, and that's all. Now put in the wet paper towel, the Ziploc bag, our Auntie Fee Ziploc wet season bag, and then we have to find our way to get that McCormick mayo. Now I went through the video and I realized the McCormick does have lime in it. So I'm sending my husband to the grocery store where we saw it, and he's gonna pick it up. I've put my fresh seasoning into my Ziploc bag, and then I just smash it down. I don't smash it, but I just make it flat, make it even, and then in one flat, like on a flat tray, I'm gonna transfer it into my freezer, and that way when I need it, I could just break off chunks like I always do. Okay, now time to process the chicken I've already poached. This is the end and the result of my Auntie Fee's fresh seasoning. It's all frozen. I only have one hand, but you see it's very thin, and I could easily just break off pieces, and very quickly I can get it right back going. So the reason I've chose Auntie Fee as one of the people whose videos I started reproducing is because it always irritated me that people used to call her ghetto and just trash talking her. Excuse me. And I wondered why. This is a sophisticated, I mean, it's not rocket science, but she still had a very solid cooking thought. Now, it's not what everybody wants to eat, and nobody cooks everything anybody wants to eat all of the time, unless you're cooking for yourself. So you're not going to please all of the people all of the time. And I just finished watching a documentary on Charlie Trotter, and he said, the customer is never right. Oh, look at this. Grasshopper, please don't jump on me, Mr. Grasshopper. Anyways, so, you know, people just talk and they don't know what they're talking about. And she was so funny. So I really just thought she was a wonderful comedian. And she seemed like a very loving lady, a very open-hearted person who her doors were open to everyone. And if you were a fan, you were a fan. But let's get on with it. I just wanted to explain why I was doing Auntie Fee. People always have something to say. Look at this beautiful seasoning. A nice, fresh, sophisticated seasoning. She calls it a seasoning, you know, and it is a seasoning. Or aromatic, I guess. So that's it. Working on getting that Auntie Fee chicken salad done. And then I'm going to show you guys another recipe, not from Auntie Fee, but I've got a couple in the bag. I'm in a bag too.